Here we go, Feel It Podcast, episode 24. With me today, backyard wrestling royalty in the house, Matt Demorest or Demorest.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, dude, I was actually shaking my pants for this episode because you're one of my heroes, and we met. I mean, we didn't meet, but yeah, we know each other since 2000, whatever. I don't know.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So this is the king of ETTW. I mean, first I need to tell you guys, so I don't know how many of you are interested or know about ETTW and backyard wrestling or trampoline wrestling in this case, right? But first off, I'll start with telling you a story. Back in 2007, I think, is the first time I saw your guys' videos. And first, when I saw you, I was a hater.
Oh my gosh.
I was such a big hater. I was so jealous. I was jealous little cunt.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, you're so good though.
Not really in the beginning. I was so jealous when I saw your fucking spine buster into Boston Crab combinations. I was like, fuck this guy. I was such a hater. But yeah, after a while, just turned into appreciation, and yeah, you guys just became I still was jealous because I wanted a group just like you guys had in ETTW, like a good vibe, friends, blah blah blah.
Right.
And yeah, because this is how things actually went. I would get up. It was I believe a Tuesday here when you would drop a video every week. I would get up before my school and open the video. And back then in Croatia, internet was super slow, dude. And I would wait for it to download just to watch it. And I would go to school and I would can't wait to go back home to watch ETTW video. And yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I went back and I would play the video. That's how fucking...
That's so cool.
Yeah, weird times. So, walk me through your ETTW days, or how you want to start this. I don't know how to start this shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we've known each other so long, and we've been talking online for so long. Yeah, I don't know. ETTW started with me and my friend Glenn Evans.
Yeah, and, nice. Shout out.
Yeah, I mean, backyard wrestling in America was kind of this big thing, especially in my region of America.
It's New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey, so that's the northeast part of America.
Yep.
And there's a couple other states around there where it's everybody backyard wrestled for some reason. And we found this we found this big forum with a whole bunch of people who were also backyard wrestling.
Cool.
And we ended up going to a whole bunch of shows. That's how things like NYE happened, EXW, things like that. Yeah, man. I mean, it's been crazy. A lot of us didn't even get training because we wrestled so much for so long that it was we already know what we're doing, and people have kind of showed us here and there. Some of us did get training, James Connolly from ETTW. He's the Whisper.
Yeah.
Xavier Faraday. I got training as well. But yeah, it was a really, really weird journey, but it was awesome. We went from the trampoline to our own home built thing, a base we call it, which is just mattresses and wood.
Yeah.
Then we bought a 12x12 ring, which are not that common. Then we bought a 16x16, and now we're just kind of stagnant. But
so
it's been a weird journey.
What year was it when you guys started?
Oh man, I mean, I think we officially started in 2006, but we were wrestling even before then. We were wrestling since 2002. We were wrestling, but we just started recording in 2006 and uploading in 2006.
Yeah, and how old are you now?
I'm 30 right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, same age as I am. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, what separated you guys, I think, was first of all, editing. Editing, such a good music and everything. Each time I watch, I knew I would find out about some other cool combo, cool move, and cool song in ETTW. That's always my shit. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find out something new if I watch today. But yeah, also what separated was having a powerhouse like you in the group. Because, dude, you were this kid, you were 15, 16, and you started doing all, double F5s and shit, and triple F5s and standing moonsault follow-away slams and shit like that. How did that happen? Man. Were you always this super strong kid or what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, you guys were awesome too. XTW Outsiders, man.
I'll
We
tell you.
loved you guys. We loved you guys. But yeah. I mean, when I was like really young, like 10 to 12 years old, I was a really chubby kid, and my dad was like, "No, we're not doing this." So, so my dad kind of like he was like kind of a power lifter, and he kind of made me start lifting weights at a pretty young age. And he kind of taught me how to do everything properly. And I think that's kind of where most of my strength comes from. Like, I'm not that strong, really. Like, when it comes to, like, I'm not going to win any weightlifting competition.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But, like, it's mostly in, like, that I know how to lift properly, you know? Like, I know how to keep my balance and hold something up there the right way.
Yeah.
Which is where most of my strength came from. But, yeah, it was pretty much my dad making me lift.
Dude.
And then from there, I was just like, yeah, I can do this, I guess. I don't know.
Dude. But, yeah, what would you say was like a high point of ETTW? Because I would say probably the season you had with the, was it like Oblivion was the main show, when you have like Ryu versus Ryu. I mean Ryu versus Forsaken. Yeah, I remember that one was my WrestleMania. That was my shit. I think that season for me stood out the most. What about you? What do you think was the high point of ETTW back then?
Yeah, thank you, man. I think you're probably right. That was when all of us were like the most into it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure you've experienced this too. Like trying to get people together is probably the hardest part of backyard wrestling. Like, because we're not getting paid, we're kind of just doing it for fun and doing it in our free time. So like getting people to take off of work or take off of school or whatever back in the day, that was always the hardest part. And that was like the perfect time where none of us were really doing anything for like a year. We were like kind of like in like a gap year between school and stuff like we were able to film and do as much stuff as possible, and I think that's probably the best content that we made back then. You're right.
That shit was amazing.
That, I think it was Oblivion 4.
Oblivion 4, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, you mentioned like XZW Outsiders, but the difference between me and you guys was I actually used all my friends. None of my friends wanted to do backyard wrestling, and I actually used all my childhood friends to wrestle with me, and like I want to be like ETTW guys, and I wanted to I teach them so much wrestling, and the day those guys would be like, "Hey Kris, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done." I would be done with that guy, and surely, man, I never spoke with that guy ever again up to this point.
Oh my gosh,
I was super hardcore back then. No, you don't want to backyard wrestling anymore. Get the fuck out of my life. I was.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
If people came and they didn't want to wrestle, I'd be like, "Yeah, get the hell out of here. You don't know wrestling." Nowadays, I'm much more calm. But when I was a teenager, like, you know, like you read stuff about wrestling and how you have to be tough and all that.
Yeah.
It's like not that true, really. You can kind of just be normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in the day when I was really young, I was like, "Yeah, if you're not into it, get out of here." Like, I don't know who the hell I thought I was. But
I mean, yeah, that's passion, I guess, for the business, for the sport or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, that area, you guys, you had like, you, like Dylan, all you guys, you had G Fatal close by, I guess, Ryan Ragnarok close by, Twist. That area of planet is super talented in pro wrestling. That's crazy.
I know.
It's like, Jesus. Even to this day, I go back, like, watch some of your stuff. Before one of my matches, I would be like, I need to get inspired. I need to find some new shit. I mean, old shit, just I forget about it. And I mean, it was, I guess, Danny Danger, who was the first trained guy that started coming over to you guys. So was he the best, stepping stone in the right direction for the ETTW? And
I would definitely say Danny was kind of what pushed us to the next level.
Yeah.
Because up until a certain point, we didn't really know how to structure our stuff, like our matches.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's something you have to learn. Like, you don't really just pick that up. Our matches were just moves, always moves. You know, we would start. Our first move was an F5. Our last move was a wrist lock. Like, we did not care, man. Yeah, I'm sure you know how that is. But like, and then Danny came in and he was like, "Yeah, no, let me show you how to do this." And he taught us how to bump, how to do normal stuff like headlocks, lock up. Like, we didn't know any of that. And once Danny showed that to us, that's when we were able to really start producing like much better content. And that's really where stuff like Oblivion 4 came from. That was like a couple years after he kind of sort of trained us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we put out our best stuff then. And I mean, it was much harder for you though, right? Because you like Croatia did not have like any wrestling whatsoever before you.
Yeah, I'm the pioneer and the general in this battle. It's just, I mean, I have no idea how I actually got into it. I don't know.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, to start a career, I had to move to Italy to live there for a couple of months, and then progress to living to like Netherlands, Amsterdam, training over there. Just traveling whole Europe to train. It's crazy, man. Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah,
man.
each weekend I would go to like Milan area in Italy. That's like 7 hours with car just to train, go back home.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and those guys didn't.
Terrible.
Yeah, and fun part is I had a ring in my backyard, and those guys in Milan didn't have a ring. They had some crash mats, and
That's true.
I would travel all the way there to have no ring to train. I was like, this is kind of crazy, but it's the
my
only
God.
shit I have. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I tried to go to US. I got declined my visa 4 times because
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, rightfully so. I would probably try to stay there any means necessary. So good job in the embassy, guys. Thank you for shattering my dreams. But yeah.
You don't want to be here now, man. Maybe in a couple of years.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, it looks like crazy situation right here in New Jersey, or I mean US right now with all the Biden and Trump. And why the fuck are we in Croatia listening about Trump and Biden? I have no idea. Why the fuck?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
You
it's
should have
everywhere.
no idea. You should have no idea what's going on.
Dude.
These people are nuts.
So what's going on? How is it life in New Jersey these days?
Ah, man. I mean, we're like right next to New York City.
Yeah.
And New York City is like big with the COVID stuff. Like,
Jesus Christ.
it was really bad in New York City. So it kind of like trickled down to Jersey. It's getting better. But I mean, I work in a hospital, so like,
oh wow,
I still see it every single day. So I mean, it's slowly getting better. Sometimes it gets worse, and it goes back down, and it gets worse. But I think we'll get a hang on it hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, this is already taking too long for me. It's like,
yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, business going under. I mean, you can explain to us because you are working in a hospital, but in my view. And probably it's different in Croatia and Europe than in US also. That's a possibility.
Right.
But in my view, it's kind of like overreacting to the situation with everything being closed down. I mean, isn't like, as a medical worker, isn't being in a lockdown bad for immunity system? Especially in child and development child and everything. Like, what do you think?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think it's better to overreact than underreact, you know? Like, I think if the government makes us overreact, then we kind of end up somewhere in the middle, you know what I mean? Whereas if the government did absolutely nothing, then it would have been really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can't really speak to it because I don't think the U.S. is handling it very well at all. When it comes to the immunity thing, I don't know, man. Like, I think the vaccinations will be for the best, definitely, when we get them. I don't know how it is over there, but we haven't gotten crap yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's people that are setting the example are not doing the good job as a politician. Everything is like they say don't do this, don't do that, and they're the ones doing the same shit, like traveling to vacations and having dinners indoors, or super two-faced. Like it's crazy. So I don't think people are realizing how serious it is because it's not presented as serious, like in one hand. Like, but yeah,
exactly. They're saying one thing and doing another thing.
Yeah,
it's so confusing.
Yeah, but. Fuck the COVID-19 talk. I don't wanna do this. I wanna talk some wrestling and backyard wrestling, and this is like shit. Like what I wanted to. Yeah, this is what I wanted to ask you. Like the other day on Instagram, because I remember you had match also there. One or backyard wrestling federation in I guess in New York City, in a park. Those guys, what's the name? I wanted to find some moves. I remember those guys did some crazy moves. What's the name of the organization? I can't remember.
That's 2KW.
2KW. Yeah, I need to check right now. 2KW.
Yeah, those guys were absolutely insane. Yeah, they tried to start like a pro fed after that.
Oh, really?
And I think it didn't work out. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. But some guys from there, like Angel Ortiz, he's on AEW now, and I think Santana, he was in 2KW too. Yeah, but yep, that's
it. Nice. Thank you for that. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah.
But some people from there are like insanely talented, and I don't think they ever really did anything. Like William Black. Rays.
Yeah.
Those guys were so good, and they were all so innovative.
Yeah, that's one thing. Those guys were super innovating. I mean, every time you would see like top 10 backyard wrestling organizations videos, those guys would be number one always, wrestling royalty. And when I saw you wrestle there, I was like, oh shit! And you did this like sweet Spanish fly with the guy and everything.
Oh
yeah. I remember that. Yeah. So, that's also one point I want to mention. Like, each time you would go some other place to wrestle, your game would progress, like, leaps and bounds. Like, when I saw you wrestle one other hero of mine, like Energy Andy, I was like...
Oh, yes.
Dude, this is happening? Like, Demorest was... I mean, it was a triple threat match, I guess. I don't know if you had singles match. I don't remember that one, but...
Yeah, it was a triple threat with a guy named, I think his name was like Raw Sewage.
Yeah.
He was Andy is funny because he was just like, Andy just wants to wrestle his friends, and he didn't know who I was at all. Oh. So and everyone was like, oh yeah, you gotta wrestle Matt. And he was like, well, I want to wrestle my friend. I guess Matt can be in the match too. Oh, and and then we had the match, and he was like, oh shit, Matt's really good. And then A few months later, actually, I ended up being on a pro show that he was running, and I wrestled him in a tag match with somebody in the main event, which was awesome because I kind of like proved myself in the backyard match. And he was like, all right, let's see what you can do in this tag match. And I had that tag match with him, and that match was like super cool. Dude, I'm really proud of that match.
Yeah, that guy is he's a legend. How old is Andy?
He really is.
How old is he?
And I think he's maybe 35, 36 at this point. Yeah. I think he's like kind of winding down at this point. I know he hurt his knee, and he hurt his I think he hurt his eye actually. He broke his like orbital bone or something like that. So yeah, I think he might be winding down. I hope he has a couple more matches in him, but I want him to be safe too. So
yeah, I mean the last thing I saw from him was he was doing like this fucking tornillo backful or whatever from top rope outside, and he fucked up his elbow. That's something. I mean, when you look at that guy's career and every bump he took, it's just a matter of time, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, really. And it's a shame because like over here, backyard wrestling is like really frowned upon. So guys like me and guys like Andy who spent like 10 years doing all this cool and crazy stuff in backyard wrestling, like in some ways it doesn't really matter because people higher up, they're like, well, you're a backyard wrestler. We don't want to work with you. Even though like I'm trained and Andy is trained and we can do a bunch of stuff that people are either stealing or people are either like...
We're going to talk about that also.
Well, yeah, we can get into that eventually, but yeah, like it's weird how it works over here. Like it doesn't matter if you're good or not. It matters what people think more than anything and who you know. And if people know you as a backyard wrestler, they're always they're gonna view you as a backyard wrestler forever.
Oh shit! So that will actually hold you back. They actually knew you were a backyard wrestler. Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's different in Europe, I guess.
Yeah, I mean you're like the first year kind, so it was kind of like you were kind of setting the tone, I guess.
I mean, even like you had Osprey. Osprey is always like shouting out his backyard days. I mean, they don't give a fuck.
It took him a while though. It took him a while to admit it. I think once he like got to Japan, he was like, all right, now I can kind of tell people. But with me, I was never really trying to hide it at all. I would like contact the booker and be like, my name is Matt Demorest, and they would look me up, and they'd be like, you're a yarder, don't want you. Whereas Osprey, Osprey used to wrestle as Ace Payne, and then he changed his name, so people didn't really look him up or know anything. He's also in the UK. I don't know if it's different there or what, but
yeah. I mean, even Peck was a backyard wrestler also.
Yeah. He was awesome.
Yeah. Speaking about Andy, I think Andy is the first guy I actually saw about backyard. No, actually, do you remember the guy? I'm gonna butcher his name. He was like, I think Luke Hadley or something.
Yeah.
Do you know that
I
shit?
met him last year.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah, this indie promotion here, GCW,
Okay.
ran like a backyard wrestling show basically, which is good. It shows you that backyard wrestling is getting more mainstream or whatever. But they ran this show, and Luke Hadley was on the show. He wrestled this guy named Schlack, and he like pointed a fireworks gun at him to shoot him with fireworks, and he held it backwards and he shot himself in the face with the fireworks. It was incredible.
Awesome.
The clip is on Twitter somewhere. I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I remember it was I think in 2006 or 2005 when I got my speedy internet in Croatia. It was ADSL. First time I was looking for wrestling in YouTube. What is YouTube? You have all these crazy stupid videos. Let's go. Wrestling. And the first thing I found was Luke Hadley like falling down the hill or whatever, like these crazy backyard videos. And yeah, second one was I think like this Anarchy Andy tribute with Nightwish song in the background. That shit blew my mind. That one is legendary, yeah. But then you had like Anarchy Andy bump video, and a few years later you have Demorest bump video. Yeah.
Well, a lot of what I do is modeled after what Andy did. Like he was a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah.
He was the first backyard wrestling that I ever saw. Like me and my friends, we backyard wrestled, but we didn't know that other people did it. We thought we were just like stupid and doing this dumb thing.
Gotcha.
And then like, pretty much like you, when YouTube came around, when I had good enough internet, I looked up like backyard wrestling to see if we were going to be the first people in the world to do this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course we weren't. And I think Anarchy Andy's High Flying was the first video I ever saw. It had like a Foo Fighter song in the background.
Yeah. Best of You. Yeah, I know that one also.
Yeah, Best of You, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He did so much stuff. He did like the Spiral Tap 450. He did like Running 630. And that was like 15 years ago at this point. That dude was just on another level, way ahead of his time.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, I mean, yeah, then it slowly progressed for me to seeing one of your ETTW2. You were just naming with numbers, I think, the first videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, back then, as I said, I was such a hater. I was like, these fuckers doing like shooting star press into hurricanranas and stuff. Like, fuck off on a trampoline. You can't do this shit. And then you guys did that one. It was Money in the Bank with you and Dylan in the finals. And then that's when I became a super fan. It was like, shit.
Oh, man.
He did a fucking awesome swanton from that thingy, and yeah, that shit was Looking back,
Dylan is awesome.
Yeah, dude, that guy is super talented. What's he doing these days?
He's in a band, I think. Yeah,
really?
He's in a band. Yeah, I forget what the name of his band is, but I think he's putting out an album in a couple days, actually.
Jesus. What kind of music is there?
It's like kind of like indie rock, I think.
Ah, cool. Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
He's can get behind it.
Yeah, thank you, man. I remember you reaching out way back in the day, and I loved watching your stuff. You were always like super creative. At first, I remember you had like the Paul London matches.
Oh
you
yeah,
were doing like
dude.
Paul London versus.
Yeah, we were doing the WWE
like, this
gimmick.
is awesome. Yeah, it was always good. Like you could do a shooting star, and we could not.
Oh really?
Like, oh man, I still can't do one off the top, dude. I can do it standing. I can do it running, but I cannot do it off the top. I'm so scared.
Dude, I mean, yeah, rightfully so, I guess. I used to do the shooting star press as a finish when I turned pro. And yeah, the problem with shooting star press is it's so difficult to pull it off. And the finish of the match is coming at the end always.
Oh,
you need to,
you're
blown up. You just can't do it. And yeah, one day I just pretty much got caught on the ropes going down, and I didn't feel my legs for like 15 minutes afterwards. I was so scared that I was paralyzed pretty much.
Yeah.
And I couldn't feel my legs, and I actually finished the fucking match. Like,
jeez, man.
Looking at the video, I can't walk. It's not the way I walk. It's just autopilot, and fucking going for my debut in Belgium, and like 17-hour flight straight in the arena and straight in the match. And fuck myself big time, so I stopped.
Yeah, man, that is so scary. That's like the main reason I don't want to do it. I'm scared of hitting my legs.
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, I'm
glad you're all right.
Yeah, thank you. Back then I actually decided to retire from pro wrestling. It was 2016.
Okay.
But yeah, like each time I would go back to sleep, I would feel that shooting star press crack. And yeah, being a high flyer, it actually so hurt my ego. I couldn't like sleep at night because my ego was hurt. Like, I get I was hurt in wrestling match, but not with the high flying move. I'm a fucking high flyer. I can't do this. So I had to go back and do it. And yeah, in the next match, I fucking did a shooting star press senton just to be over with it. I was like,
oh man,
fuck man, I'll die or I'll do it. And I did it and I break it. And yeah, I'm not doing shooting star press ever again. I'm satisfied. Yeah. My ego is back. And here we go, baby.
I'm back, baby. Let's
go. I'm back. I'm the man again. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're all right. That is really scary.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah. Speaking about that, when is the last time you wrestled?
I actually wrestled a few weeks ago. It hasn't been released yet. I think it's
shit.
But yeah. Speaking of injuries, like it was my first match since like last July. So my first match in like 7-8 months or something. And right in the beginning of the match, I have the guy in the waist lock, and he's like kind of new, so he's like kind of moving really fast. And like I have him in a waist lock, and I'm kind of like trying to like talk smack, and he just brings a big elbow and he cracks me right in the nose.
Jesus.
Right the first thing, and my nose just starts bleeding everywhere. You might be able to see it. It's like kind of.
Yeah, I see it.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Shit,
it's like,
bro.
That was like 2 weeks ago, and it still hurts. So
Jesus.
Yeah, wrestling is sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great.
I mean, but it's a good thing that you guys have shows right now, or it's going normally, or what's going on? Because in Europe everything stops, like no shows.
Yeah,
nothing.
It's like some places here are doing it right, and some places aren't. Like that place required testing before you went. And that's pretty much the only places I'm wrestling for. If you don't require testing, then I don't really want to go, mainly just because I have the baby at home, you know. Don't want to get the baby sick. Don't want to get the wife sick. So, yeah, I'll wrestle places that require testing. But some places are just like running shows. No one's wearing masks. No one's doing anything. So, I mean, it's America. People kind of just do whatever they want, even if it's stupid. But yeah, that's kind of how it is here.
Dude, last time I wrestled was over a year now. It was January back in 2020.
Oh,
shit,
man.
It's such a bitter taste in my mouth because I was entering my prime, and this is the year I wrestled like El Fantasmo. I was supposed to wrestle Angelico, all these guys.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was my stepping stone year, but nope.
Oh, dude, that's such a shame.
Yeah,
I mean, people aren't gonna forget about you though, dude. You're so good. You're so talented.
Yeah, but it was like the thing is, when you are from Croatia and when you need to wrestle in Germany, Hungary, Italy, I'm actually one of the like most expensive workers on the card because of my traveling. Because traveling from Croatia is super expensive every time. They would actually pay me and Matt Cross this almost the same amount of money. Like,
oh wow!
Because I wouldn't take any fee, like maybe like 50 euros. I got like to 200 euros, so like $250. But yeah, mostly it's like 50 to 100 bucks. Everything else would they spend on my fucking traveling. That's super expensive. So yeah, that's like now the companies don't have any money, and they would be like, okay, can you lower the fee? I'm like, I'll wrestle for free. Just pay my fucking ticket, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'll wrestle for free.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's scary, dude.
Yeah, hope it will go back to normal. Otherwise,
I hope so.
Yeah, I have other plans in with Croatia finally and pro wrestling. I was trying to do that for a long time, but I didn't have time because I also have a fitness studio, and with my career, I couldn't spend much time to like do the right thing to start the promotion back here. But I'm gonna do it right now. Yeah, and that's also another thing I want to talk to you about, like pro wrestling. Why is this shit not a sport? Like, if you look at it, in every country, bodybuilding is a sport. Chess is a sport. Fucking Aikido is a sport. Dude. And pro wrestling is like... I mean, someone misstep, like, I don't know, it feels like a rich man's business, like rich man's game.
I think everything kind of like it like all trickles down from Vince McMahon, basically. Like whatever Vince McMahon is calling wrestling at the time, that's what everyone else kind of has to go around. At least here, like in America, where if you want to make money, you kind of have to do what they're doing, and you can put your own twist on it and things like that. But like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that kind of spreads all across the world. You know, whatever WWE is doing, whatever they're calling wrestling, that's pretty much what everyone else has to do. You know, I think it is extremely hard. I think it is a sport, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and it is entertainment too. It's so many different things, which is why it's so hard. You have to act. You have to be athletic.
Yeah.
A lot of people have to look good. I never got that part down, but like, you know, but like, yeah, it's really one of the hardest things that I could ever imagine doing.
Yeah.
And to not consider it a sport at all is just extremely weird to me. I agree with you.
I mean, who dropped the ball? Like, how did that shit happen? Because this is the only case where you have like the sports club or whatever sports league being more popular than the sport itself. Like Chicago Bulls, even in Jordan era, they are not more popular than basketball. All over the globe, basketball is more popular than the Chicago Bulls. But WWE is more popular than wrestling. Like, how the fuck? Like, how did that happen? Like, who dropped the fucking ball there?
It makes no sense, man. I'm glad that like AEW is coming around, and giving them some competition. And I don't really know what Impact is doing. I don't pay much attention, but I'm sure they're doing good stuff. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come to just competition, you know. And I hope AEW kind of climbs higher and higher and higher, and Impact climbs higher and higher. Then maybe ROH can climb higher, and then eventually just everyone can grow and grow and grow, and wrestling can become something completely different, and we don't need to even worry about whatever Vince McMahon is doing. Yeah, that's what I hope. But you know, who knows?
I mean, before I started wrestling, I was outsider from Croatia, and I imagine it was like there was a guy from New Japan, there was a guy from WWE. They have this like big league, and they have presidents of sports. They have licensing and everything. Nope. Turns out you just need to lift your hand up, buy a pair of shorts, and say, "I'm a pro wrestler today." Done.
Yep.
Jesus. Pretty much. And I was expecting, I was expecting this graduation and everything, like, bro.
Yeah, no.
But I'm gonna tell you something, because France is doing it like very interestingly. Because I was researching this for my federation. They actually, because I wanted to introduce a belt system in pro wrestling, because I feel like we need a belt system to see who's a white belt, who's a black belt at the end. Like, if you get to the WWE level, then you can have a black belt. Like, we need to figure out a way to like position itself or whatever. Like Triple H is a black belt. Like, I would be maybe a blue belt right now. But I feel like we need, as a workers, not for the fans, but just for the workers, these milestones to keep working, because some of the guys, when they reach like main event status in the organization, they stop training. And I feel you can do this with BJJ, with any other sport. You just need to keep progressing, training, and one day be the master of the craft, be a black belt, right? And when I start my promotion, I don't care about anyone else. I will do a belt system in my organization, just to show the guys who are like, if I'm sending my guys like Dano Babic somewhere in England, I would send him and he would be like a blue belt, so the guys can expect what he does or what he doesn't do. But this is what I wanted to say. The France promotions are actually doing the same shit, but not with belts, but with ropes, because wrestling is like 200 years old in France. It's like crazy, and they have this rope system. If you are like gold rope, you can do the main events and blah blah blah. If you are white rope, you have only some shows of the year that you can be on. And just like they would be like, okay guys, the next week we have this big show, so only blue ropes and black ropes and golden ropes. And it's actually interesting. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've never even heard of that. That's really interesting. That's cool. I would be interested to see how that turns out. I mean, like, so like, would a black belt be able to wrestle like a blue belt, like in a main event or something, like just to like see what would happen if someone new wrestled someone experienced?
Yeah, of course. I mean, why not? But it's like. Because in I don't know what's the situation in US, but here in Europe you have this flexing situation between promotions. Like I'm a champ in ETTW in Hungary, I guess, And when Germany books me in my federation, they want to book me as a jobber just to flex on Hungary. Your champ is a jobber here. And that's fucking annoying. Like, it's fuck, like, Jesus. Just to show their superior federation. It makes no sense to me. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that doesn't really happen here. I think sometimes people try to do stuff like that here, but like we're like independent wrestlers, like very much so. So we kind of have control over what we're doing for the most part. So that doesn't happen so much.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the belt idea is really cool. I want to see how that turns out.
I mean, I feel yeah, go ahead.
As long as you're flexible with it, like you said, where like a blue belt behind the scenes can wrestle with someone who is a black belt behind the scenes.
Sure.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
I mean, I feel like it would bring some credibility to our sport. Like, for say, if you wanted to get some sponsorship as an athlete, it would be like, okay, I'm a black belt in pro wrestling. They don't give a fuck about it, but they hear we're a black belt and they're like, okay, cool, I'll give you a sponsorship maybe. It just feels like, I need more sport in this sport. Like,
that's totally understandable.
Yeah,
it's totally that'll definitely bring like a unique feel to your product, I think.
Yeah, because
something that's definitely missing.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm a long time athlete. I was always training something, and each time I would wrestle, I would compete. It's not like it's not a competition for me. It is competition. It is super serious. I mean, I'm not competing against the guy I'm wrestling against. I'm not competing against the rest of the card because we want to make a good show, but I'm competing that my show that I'm booked on is the best show that day ever.
Yep.
Like, yeah. That's competition in my eyes. That's how I want it to be. But
yeah,
not enough people are like that. I mean, all people in pro wrestling want to be just, oh, WWE, New Japan, blah, blah, blah. Fuck, dude. Like, fuckers. They just want to jump all the 10 steps and be superstars. Fucking crazy.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's a shame, but
yeah. Let me throw you a curveball, just so we break this wrestling talk a bit. If you had a time machine to go anywhere, anytime, to be a fly on the wall and see the truth, when and where did you go?
Oh my God! How could you do this to me? Oh no!
Yeah, I just want to.
No, man. I mean, I think my favorite like era, at least in like film, is like the '80s. Maybe I would just go to the '80s just to hang out.
Nice.
I mean, as far as like super important things in world history, geez, I don't even know.
There's plenty of good ones.
I just want to go see what the cavemen were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll teach a caveman how to wrestle. I'll teach a caveman how to do a moonsault off a rock or something.
It's fucking amazing.
Just see how that alters the timeline going forward. Cavemen know how to do a moonsault.
Imagine that shit. That's awesome. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so we spoke briefly. You mentioned like some of the pros stealing your stuff. Do you want to elaborate on that or not?
Yeah, I can go into it a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go. Let's go balls deep into it.
I'll preface it by saying that I don't like really care. It's really not that big of a deal to me at all.
Okay.
Like, it's just a move at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, so there's this move I do. It's like a burning hammer flipped into a go to sleep. I call it the downfall.
Yeah.
And then there was this dude, Donovan Dijak. I think he started wrestling in like 2013 or something. I don't know. But he does the move, and for some reason, he just like won't admit that he saw me do it. And then there's like, and I don't know why. Like, it's really not a big deal. And then there's like Sammy Guevara, and then they got into this whole big thing. And Sammy, I've spoken to Sammy, and like he was like friends with ETTW's MySpace page back in the day. You know?
Oh, so wow, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always like openly admitted it. He's always openly talked to me about it, and which I think is like really the right thing to do, especially if you get a move from someone who's like lower than you.
Yeah.
You know, because then like you bring them up, and then like say they're on a show next week or something. It just elevates independent wrestling to admit that you saw an independent wrestler do something. It just kind of helps everyone grow, I think, which is I think why it's important. I think it's important to give people credit for things. I personally, again, don't really care that much, but yeah, this Donovan Dijak dude just does his move, and he for some reason just takes a bunch of credit for it, and he doesn't have to. It's just awkward because like everyone knows, and he won't say it, and he doesn't have to say it. But he also didn't have to say that he invented it. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Everyone knows, but he won't say it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if he just hold on, is my audio out?
No, it's good. Okay, now it's not. You good? Yeah, it's good. Good. I can hear you. Okay, wait a second. Mr. Demorest is checking his audio.
All right.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Good. So yeah, it was it's one of those things where he didn't really have to say that he invented this move.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have really given a crap, you know, and I never really called him out on it either. It's kind of everybody else kind of started calling this dude out on it. Yeah. And he was like, no, fuck this backyard wrestler. And no one said he was a backyard wrestler. How'd you know? It's just it's just like, come on, man, stop it.
But yeah, you had some a short beef on Instagram, like you two, and he was like, yeah, before you, I was doing it on my mom's bed. So what now? Like, something like that. He was like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. You know, like, I don't have a problem with him, and I don't have a problem with him doing the move. I don't really care, but yeah, I don't know, man. He just makes it awkward every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. He should at least do it good. Like,
I mean,
it's not that good. Yeah, not smooth. I mean, Sammy does it way better. He does it good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Sammy's is good.
Yeah, Dijak or Diakovic, as he likes to call himself these days, I have something to say about that also, but dude, yeah, just for the record, I contacted the guy as soon as he started wearing checkers on his shorts, and I was, kako si, imali što, odakle se ti iz Hrvatske? Speaking on Croatian, of course.
Yeah.
And he had to use Google Translate to answer me back.
Oh,
I was pissed off. I was like, dude, okay, sure. So where are you from? Like, I don't know, because my grandparent is from Croatia, but he died long time ago, and he didn't say anyone where we are from. And I'm like, you motherfucker. Like, you know what? I actually did this DNA ancestry test, and it turns out I have 10% Norse blood, so I'm a Viking. I'm gonna have a Viking gimmick. Who gives a fuck? Like, Jesus fuck.
You're a Viking.
I'm a Viking, of course. 10% Viking. It was like a century ago. I don't care. I'm a Viking.
Exactly.
Jesus. I'm gonna be in Valhalla.
You're the only Croatian wrestler in my heart.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Rightfully so. But dude, I mean, there are a lot of German Croatians here, like, and when I jumped to the scene, I said I'm the first and only Croatian pro wrestler. Major backlash. Everyone says, no. What about this guy? What about that guy? And I'm like, yeah, that guy lives in Berlin. That guy lives in fucking London. Dude, I'm from Zadar, Croatia. We are like in $500 a month paychecks. Those guys have like 2,000 euros. Like, give me a fuck. I deserve to be fucking called. We're not getting into it.
You do deserve it.
Yeah,
you do deserve it.
Motherfuckers, they don't know what I've been through. Like, I sacrificed all my friends in the childhood. Like,
yep.
Everything.
Yeah, man.
Fuck those guys. Yeah.
You built your own ring, right? That ring was built by you?
Of course. Two rings.
Man.
Yeah, we had like one shitty one, and the other one, it's actually like, to this day, it stays there. It's like, it's a monument.
That's
craziness.
Awesome.
Yep. But yeah. Okay, no more heated talk. I'm gonna get you out of here because it's already like 4 o'clock in New Jersey, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I was supposed to be in New Jersey like a couple of times. I wanted to wrestle in ETTW, but AMWA, I guess it was after ETTW.
Yeah.
It was that era, but because I actually have a cousin in Woodridge, New Jersey, and I have other friend in New Jersey also. Yeah, a lot of Croatian in New Jersey, so yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I had that in my mind, but one day we're gonna wrestle Mr. Demorest. one day.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out, dude. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a dream match of mine.
Yeah, of course. It's a bucket list of mine also. Dude, okay. 2 last questions before I let you go.
Cool.
Let's go like this. So, imagine this. Aliens are coming down to Earth. And they pick you, Mr. Matthew Allen, Matthew Demorest, Matthew Marvel. However you want to be called that day. What is pro wrestling? And you need to show them one pro wrestler all time to represent pro wrestling. Who would you pick? Only one guy. Only one guy.
Kurt Angle.
Wow, that's a powerful pick, bro.
I think Kurt Angle. He can kind of do it all, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Do it all.
I agree with that. It's yeah. I thought you were gonna say Brock Lesnar maybe because I had this.
I thought about it.
Yeah, because were you like a fan of Brock Lesnar because you were Brock in ETTW days. That's Brock all through and through, like.
Yeah, man. I mean, I specifically love like 2002, 2003 Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he was probably getting like carried like by guys like Kurt Angle pretty much. But I mean, he was just like so explosive and strong, and I was like, oh my god. Like I've still really never seen anyone like Brock Lesnar wrestle.
Yeah.
And these days he's kind of like still good, but he's kind of like goofy good, you know, like when he dove off the steps and hit John Cena in the face and went flying out of the ring.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, whatever, dude, I'm into it, but not as good, but you know.
Yeah, he has some connections to Nicolas Cage for me, like a master of weird shit in the ring. Like
exactly.
Like, why did you do it that way?
Yeah. I don't know why you did it like that, but I guess I like it.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Did you train any other sports, by the way, other than wrestling or just wrestling?
No. Yeah, just wrestling. Yeah, nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to like wrestle in high school, but they didn't let me for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. Just wrestling.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Before the last question, I have another one, of course. I forgot to ask about this. When you wrestled Zayn, those 2 matches, Alex Zayn, who is getting the breakthrough in WWE right now, just speak about that for a while because that shit was legendary. Like, emotion, everything behind the match, it's crazy. Your fucking editing is brilliant. Cell Dweller behind it and everything.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Zayn is like, he's always been on like another level than like everybody else. You know,
that guy.
He's just like so talented, and he's big too, man. He's like, I think he's probably like 6'1", 6'2". He's like 215 or something. He's a big dude, and he can flip around like crazy. He was doing like spiral taps into Hurricane Ranas and all this crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, I had one match with him. I think it was in 2010. It was in 2010 our first match, and it was like a long day. It was really hot. I was like sunburnt. And the end of the match, like kind of close to the end of the match, he gave me like a knee. I went flying off of this base thing that we built, and I landed on my shoulder, and I ended up separating my shoulder, and I couldn't finish the match. Right? So I mean, he was like really cool about it. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm glad you're being safe. I'm glad we didn't finish." It was just a backyard show, so we didn't really want anybody to get hurt at a backyard show. And then a couple of years later, we had our second match. And I was like, all right, I gotta prove myself to this guy.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens. I'm finishing the match. I'm going all out. We're doing a bunch of crazy shit. And yeah, I mean, he's an awesome dude. He's super easy to, you know, call matches with. We had a whole bunch of crazy stuff planned. And yeah, I mean, the finish to that match is basically him knocking me off the ring. I land on my shoulder again.
Yep.
And we kind of go from there.
Jesus.
He gave me like a big flipping knee. He busted my nose, and I'm bleeding all over him. He has me like an arm bar triangle thing. I'm trying to like sell my arm and lift him up and everything, and I'm trying to lift him up. Can't do it. Stomping on his head. And when he was like, dude, like really get me in the head, stomp on my head, I was like, all right. He took a picture of himself afterwards, and my shoe print is just like perfectly on his forehead. That's how hard I was hitting him. And yeah, man, I mean, those 2 matches are probably like up there for me and some of my best work. And Zayn is just an awesome guy to work with. he's super talented, and I'm super happy for him. He absolutely deserves it,
dude.
Especially after all the stuff he's done in the past couple years.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw actually a full match also, but I remember the edited version, of course, the highlight one you did with Cell Dweller. But that you hit the point with the emotions of that video. It's like, yeah, after the video was over, it was for sure clear Demorest is the backyard wrestling royalty. That match really elevated you to the level of Zayn's and Energy Andy, and yeah, that's the guy now. There's the guy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That picture with you with bloody nose in the corner, that's legendary shit. It's like
Thanks,
like
man.
one of the. But you had like so many good moments. You had this bloody corner nose. You had this Demorest scroll moment. So many. So much cool moments, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of that had to do with the camera work and everything too. It was just like the right thing happening at the right time.
Yeah.
I got really lucky with a lot of stuff. But
yeah. I remember also your Ryu promos. That shit I learned a lot. I learned so much from those promos. Is okay, I want to do a promo just like that one day. I just need to find the right situation. I like the
awesome, man.
Whole like atmosphere about it with your half of your face is black and
yeah, man.
That shit is amazing. Like, Jesus.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of like inspiration, I think I talked about this for the first time publicly when I posted on Instagram. Like the back suplex DDT that I do, the demoralizer, is 100% your move.
Yeah.
Like, I remember you being like really like psyched about it when I gave it to Andy. You're like, oh my god, my move happened to Andy.
Yeah, dude. Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it in the backyard. Like none of my friends wanted to take the move. I was like so bummed. Like, oh shit. But yeah, when you started using, I was so happy. Like even like I think like Danny, you doing it to Ryu.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't say anything. But yeah, that one was one of my perfect. Like you finished Ryu with my move. I was like hyperventilating here. It's like my asthma starts to kick in. But yeah, you also did that leg toss DDT that I used to do, but you did it to RKO. Yeah, that one was also fucking good. To Mark Electric, another crazy guy. Dude, that guy is
amazing.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
Marky is absolutely amazing.
You guys need to make a pro promotion, like, because I mean,
I would love to.
Because that's essentially AEW to me. AEW to me feels like best buddy promotion, they're not
Very
that much into like WWE. AEW is more like backyard wrestling. Like it feels like the richest backyard wrestling promotion in the world. Like that's how it feels.
Pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me get you out of here. But yeah, dude, this was an awesome time talking to you. I can't believe we actually made it happen. Like almost 15 years later.
I know, man. We still have so much to talk about. We got to do it again.
Yeah, sure. Whenever you want, it would be my pleasure, man. Brother. Okay, last question. I always ask this question to all my guests so my followers understand what kind of a man you are, because this one will tell a lot about you. Okay, so
oh man,
it's similar as the last one. Aliens and everything, whatever. If you had to pick one music artist or a band to describe you, only one, who would you pick?
Oh no! Oh man!
Pick wisely. If you pick some, I don't know, Justin Bieber, we are never doing this podcast again.
Oh yeah, it's Carly Rae Jepsen. Actually, Call Me Maybe. You know. I do like that song, but probably like I'm trying to think of something that involves wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like Cell Dweller. Probably something like that. Something that involves wrestling that I also like outside of wrestling.
Safe bet, Cell Dweller. So, do you stick to your choice, Cell Dweller?
Yeah, I'll go with Cell Dweller.
Okay, cool. Okay, so there you have it, guys. This was Matt Demorest. Matt, do you have anything else to say to the followers or upcoming shit you have on your horizon or whatever? The floor is yours.
I'm going to be on GCW Fight Forever this upcoming Saturday, January 30th. At 9 a.m., I'm going to be wrestling for Camp Leapfrog. 9 a.m. Eastern time in America. But
Okay.
yeah, check that out if you want.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that,
pretty much
guys.
it.
Yeah, I don't think my editing will be fast enough for that one, but yeah, I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, this video is gonna be out in a week maybe.
Okay. No problem. Go watch the replay.
Yeah, go watch the replay, guys. Okay, so there you have it, guys. So this was Demorest, Backyard Wrestling Royalty, Feel It Podcast. Keep watching, keep listening. Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Thank you.